Almost 22 years ago, some of us began to build another great university for America. We said we reject the notion of incremental progress. We're in the business of dramatic transformation. And everything that we do, everything, will be done at the highest levels of excellence. And together we've come a long way. Indeed, few schools, if any, have come so far so quickly. So what is the secret to our success? I believe the secret to our success is that we're passionate about minds and hearts. Our primary purpose is to form good citizens and leaders. We believe that real success is a life well lived. We want our students to choose to live a life of meaning and consequence and purpose. And of course, we have a name for that. We call that a life of significance. Because we care about minds and hearts and lives of significance, our curriculum is based on the liberal arts and sciences. We emphasize the study of leadership, and we've developed a nationally respected President's Leadership Program. Our core curriculum is rigorous, cited by the American Council of Trustees and Alumni as the most rigorous core curriculum of any public college or university in America. It's because we care about hearts and minds. Break in with applause anytime you want to. It's because we care about hearts and minds and creating good citizens and leaders that our students perform thousands of hours of community service. And we have a speaking tradition and an honor code, and we build a chapel. We want our students to lead and serve and engage and love and set the world on fire. That's what makes Christopher Newport special. And that's what makes Christopher Newport an irresistible force. We're also a community that knows and cares about each other. The genius of this place is our commitment to a rich and diverse community and a campus culture of respect, civility, and inclusion. We honor and care for every person. We want everyone to feel welcomed and fully engaged in this community. We stand together and support and encourage each other. We are a light in an increasingly dark world, and that is what makes this place so special. Let me say this very clearly. We denounce and reject the violence and the vile and vicious voices of the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis. And our hearts break because of the loss of life in Charlottesville. Above the floor in the United States Senate, where I spent many years of my life, is the Great Seal of the United States and the words E pluribus unum, which in Latin says, out of many one. That has been the strength of our country for over 200 years. That idea was beautifully expressed a few days ago by the University of Virginia basketball coach, Tony Bennett, when he said, and I quote, "We believe in diversity and unity to its fullest extent. We know that when those two things come together, something beautiful and triumphant comes out of it." End of quote. Diversity and unity to its fullest extent together produces something beautiful and triumphant. We believe that. Last year we established a University Council on Diversity and Inclusion, composed of students, faculty, administrators, board members, and friends of the university, all committed to enhancing the recruitment and retention of underrepresented students and faculty and staff, to promote a campus culture of respect and civility. In May, Badal Dickinson joined the university, assuming a strategic role within student affairs, to focus on student experience, helping to identify ways to support underrepresented students, to promote their involvement in leadership on campus, to enhance inclusive competency of staff members through training, and to serve as a resource for students and for staff alike. We welcome Badal to our CNU family. Last spring, the university invited Juan Johnson to work with our council in helping us shape a strategic plan to enhance our diversity and inclusion efforts. Juan is a nationally respected expert in these matters. At the Coca-Cola Company, he served as the company's first vice president for diversity strategy after Coca-Cola faced a massive class action racial discrimination lawsuit. Coke settled the lawsuit in less than 2 years and was named in Fortune magazine's list of best companies for minorities. And Juan Johnson led Coca-Cola's transformation. Juan now serves as a fellow at the Raleigh Institute at Furman University and leads diversity leadership programs across the country. In early May, council members and other university leaders participated in a day-long seminar here on campus, led by Juan. It was an important foundational activity in our diversity and inclusion efforts. A series of rich discussions and thought-provoking issues were introduced on that occasion. Juan Johnson will return to campus on Friday, September 29th, to engage all of us here in this venue, all faculty and all staff, in a discussion on diversity leadership. I know you will find him to be a gifted speaker and a superb facilitator, and I look forward to seeing every one of us here on that important occasion. So let's talk a bit about the journey that we've shared. Over the past 22 years, CNU has experienced a remarkable transformation. Our applications have exploded by over 700%. This year we received 7,100 applications, hoping for a freshman class of 1,225 students. Today our freshman class numbers 1,300 students. The quality of our students has soared. The average high school GPA of our freshman class is 3.8, and our SAT scores, critical reading and math, have increased by more than 200 points. We've added more than 100 full-time faculty, not to get bigger, but to drive down the size of our classes and to increase student success. This year, more than 60% of our classes, or nearly 60% of our classes, to be exact, 59.66% of our classes. Thank you, Dr. Dowdy. Thank you, Dr. Raines. We'll have 19 students or less. And we'll have only 26 classes, larger than 50 students. Imagine a state university that will have only 26 classes on the campus, larger than 50 students. There are absolutely no classes on this campus with hundreds and hundreds of students, no teaching assistants. We have real professors engaging high-ability students in small classes. Princeton Review, Kiplinger's, Ford's, U.S. News and World Report have all praised Christopher Newport. U.S. News has named CNU as one of America's schools to watch for making the most promising and innovative changes in academics, faculty, facilities, students, and campus. Among the nearly 300 schools in the U.S. News rankings of Southern regional institutions, we now stand 5th among all the publics and 14th among all schools. Most importantly, as you know, our students love this school, and they bring our campus alive with their energy and their enthusiasm and their intellect. While CNU has made monumental strides in just a short time, these achievements can only represent the beginning. We must continue to work hard to recruit the finest faculty, seek the best students, and create an exceptional experience, emphasizing leadership, honor, and civic engagement. So let's speak to the future. At Christopher Newport, we have a very clear sense of who we are, what we value, and what we aspire to become. And we've been consistent from the beginning. Our vision and our values, our guiding principles and goals are unchanged and define our 6-year plan, our performance indicators, our enrollment projections, our capital request, and our academic plans. We want to get better and better, not bigger and bigger. For us, 5,000 students is the right size. Our focus is on the liberal arts and sciences and the undergraduate experience. We emphasize great teaching and small classes and lots of personal attention. Over the last 2 decades, we've added 114 full-time faculty, and we plan to add 20 more to reach our goal of 300 full-time faculty. That's the number we've long believed is essential to attaining and sustaining academic excellence. And we've worked hard to increase student success. For us, that means improving retention and graduation rates and reducing the time to graduate. And we have come so far. Look at these numbers. Our freshman to sophomore retention rate has increased by 13 percentage points in the last 12 years. And this year will be 88%. We are most assuredly advancing toward our goal of 90%. Our four-year graduation rate has increased to 67% this year, 36 percentage points higher than just 10 years ago. Our six-year graduation rate is now 75%, 23 percentage points higher than 10 years ago. That is astounding progress, extraordinary. And everyone here deserves the credit, along with our students who have worked hard. We will not be satisfied until we reach a six-year graduation rate of 80%. With more faculty, we're now able to enhance study abroad, undergraduate research, internships, and service learning opportunities. The kind of experiences that enrich the study of the liberal arts and sciences and that form good citizens and leaders. We also need to complete the infrastructure required by a full-time student population of 5,000, and we're almost there. Construction of our library is 50% complete, and I'm assured it will be open this time next year. We're moving forward with the design of the Visual Arts Center, and construction could begin this time next summer. Finally, we aspire to be recognized by Phi Beta Kappa as one of America's top liberal arts institutions. 32 members of our faculty are members of Phi Beta Kappa, and our faculty will prepare an application for submission in 2018. So together we've accomplished so much. And we have so much to look forward to. I am so grateful to each of you for all that you've accomplished, and so grateful for all that you will contribute in the days ahead. As we begin this new academic year, I want to first thank our colleagues who have worked through the summer to prepare for this day. Our friends in plant operations and grounds and housing, for all that you've done through the summer. And our colleagues who have welcomed thousands of prospective students and their families to campus, conducted interviews, and made 4 setting sail events and 2 leadership adventure programs, and registration goes so smoothly and successfully. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At Rosemary Trible, I want to thank you for your willingness to do this for the 23rd time. And I want to thank the folks that I work with each and every day most closely. I ask so much of so many people, and they give so generously. Beverly Muller, Cindy Perry, Bill Brower, Sherry Krotz, Margaret Yancey, you all are absolutely wonderful, and I'm so grateful. Last night, Cindy Perry and I worked until 10 o'clock. Just the two of us working at the office along with Beverly. And as we were about to break up at 10 o'clock, Beverly said to me quietly, "Paul, did you know that this is Cindy's birthday?" I must confess that I was more focused on today than I was on the fact that it was Cindy's birthday. And so, would you help me by joining me in a round of happy birthday to Cindy? Cindy, stand up. Where are you? Stand up. Stand up, Cindy. Stand up. All right. All right. Delia, where are you? Delia Thompson, where are you, Delia? Delia, where are you? Stand up. Lead us in a round of happy birthday. Come on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cindy. Happy birthday to you. Hey! Thank you so very much. We love you, Cindy Carey. Let me talk a bit about admission. You see 1,300 bright and smiling faces on this campus. Our freshmen are an outstanding class of young women and men. They do indeed number today 1,300, again exceeding our annual goal of 1,225. They come from 20 states and 7 foreign countries, and 80% of those students visited our campus and were personally interviewed. With high school GPA and SAT averages of 3.8 and 1210, these are high-achieving students. I'm pleased to report that 22% of our freshman class are students of color. That's a 2% increase over last year, and the percentage of our African American students increased from 8% to 10%. 403 freshmen will participate in the President's Leadership Program. On average, they earned a 4.0 high school GPA and an SAT score of 1280. 143 freshmen will participate in our honors program. 118 of those students will participate in both leadership and honors. These students, on average, earned a high school GPA of 4.2 and an SAT of 1360. Remarkably, 428 freshmen, that's 1/3 of our first-year class, will participate in the President's Leadership Program and/or the Honors Program. More and more, we want the profile of our leadership and honors students to define our entire freshman class. So we must all work hard to ensure that the intellectual life of this place is rich and rigorous and rewarding. What accounts for this enrollment success? In challenging times, well, certainly our reach and our reputation are spreading, but it also results from a lot of hard work. My thanks to Rob Lane, Christina Russell, Bonnie Tracy, all the members of our faculty and staff who so generously contributed their time and talent supporting our freshman admission and transfer programs. Remarkable results, and we're most grateful. Let me talk about our academic life. This year we'll have 279 full-time faculty, an increase of 3 positions over last year. 200 of our faculty, 72%, are either tenured or on tenure track, putting us well on the way to our long-term goal of reaching 75%. Our 27 new faculty have impressive academic credentials and demonstrate a passion for teaching and a love for learning. We welcome our new faculty and look forward to your important contributions as we together pursue preeminence in the liberal arts and sciences. And I would ask our new faculty to please stand so we can give you a warm welcome. Christopher Newport. Thank you. Our academic programs are making headlines. Our Master of Arts in Teaching program in elementary education was recently named the 5th best in the country, an outstanding achievement. My congratulations to all of our faculty who instruct our future students. Our theater program was named among the top 20 best college theater programs in the nation by Princeton Review. Other colleges on this list include Carnegie Mellon, Northwestern, and Brown. Congratulations to the Department of Theater and Dance. We also applaud the achievements of Dr. Darlene Petrano, who recently awarded the first... Bear with me for one paragraph and then let's have one. I'm going to name three awards, and they all bear applause. So, we also applaud the achievements of Dr. Darlene Petrano, who was recently awarded the first National Institute of Health grant ever received by a CNU professor. Dr. Ken Rose, who was awarded a wonderful grant from the Templeton Foundation. And the Public History Center that was awarded a National Maritime Heritage Grant. Awards such as these increase our reputation a place of serious scholarship, learning, and teaching. And they all deserve a round of applause. Well done. You honor this institution. This was a record year for medical school admission, with 15 of our graduates beginning medical school this fall in excellent programs, including Eastern Virginia, the University of Virginia, and Johns Hopkins. I appreciate all that Dr. Gwen Brown and her colleagues have done to guide and support our students interested in the pre-health professions. Canton, Virginia recently committed $300,000 over the next 5 years to provide scholarships and internships for students in the STEM disciplines, particularly those in electrical engineering. In the Luter School of Business, our graduates for the 3rd year in a row scored above the 97th percentile, the top 3% of the nation, in the National Major Business Field Test. That places CNU among the top 20 of over 600 universities where the test is administered. Our students' performance underscores the quality of instruction, the rigor of our curriculum, and the intellectual firepower of our students. We have so much to be pleased, to be encouraged, to be thankful for. I also would acknowledge the leadership and many contributions of 2 of our colleagues. First, Dr. Robert Colvin, who has taken on new and important responsibilities. Many years ago, I asked Dr. Colvin to establish the leadership program on this campus, which he did, and which is developed into one of the most successful programs at this university. More recently, over the past 7 years, Bob has led the College of Social Sciences, and for 5 of those years, the Luter School of Business as well. He has now moved to the position of Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education. During Bob's tenure as Dean, there were a number of significant achievements. The creation of the Reef Center, the creation of the Department of Economics. He led Luter through 2 successful AACSB reaccreditation cycles. He directed the work of the programs team for the SACS COC reaffirmation effort. He led the effort to develop our 3+3 program with the law school at George Mason. He worked to increase the number of four-year ROTC scholarships held by CNU students from 0 to 7. But beyond all this, those of us that have had the honor to work with Bob Kovin know that he is thoughtful, kind, and caring. And over his career on this campus, he has made immense contributions to our faculty and to our students and to the success of this young and vibrant university. Bob Kovin, will you please stand? And so CSS welcomes a new dean, Dr. Quentin Kidd. Dr. Kidd is well known on our campus, having been chair of the Department of Government, vice provost for undergraduate education. He has written 5 books, was instrumental in the success of our Glasgow program. He created and has directed with singular success the Wassam Center for Public Policy, and he has become the voice of CNU in matters of politics and public policy. We welcome Dr. Kidd to the deanship, and we look forward to his energetic and successful leadership of the college. Quentin, will you please stand? Also in CSS, we have a new chair of the Military Science Department, Major Dustin Medhart. And as a testament to the robust level of ROTC activity at Christopher Newport, which I must say pleases me immensely, one of the first things Major Medhart did was to add 2 staff positions to our campus. One of our ROTC students, Megan Copenhaver, who is a rising junior majoring in marketing and an outstanding student, made military history this summer by becoming the first 4th generation paratrooper. Listen to this. Megan's mother, maternal grandfather, and maternal great-grandfather all graduated from the U.S. Army Airborne School. Her great-grandfather jumped into France just east of Normandy Beach on D-Day. I want you to see this Army video. D-Day. I want you to see this Army video.
The Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade graduates the first ever 4th generation
I want you to see this Army video.
The Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade graduates the first ever 4th
I want you to see this Army video.
The Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade graduates the first ever 4th
I want you to see this Army video.
The Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade graduates the first step in Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I definitely wanted to do it for myself.
In Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I definitely wanted to do it for myself.
In Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I definitely wanted to do it for myself.
In Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I definitely wanted to do it for myself.
In Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I definitely wanted to do it for myself.
In Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I
Let's do a video. Is anyone in charge of this thing? Can we redo this thing, or this is really kind of cool and it's very short. Is there anyone here with me?
The Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade graduates the first ever 4th generation paratrooper from Airborne School at Fort Benning this week. 19-year-old Cadet Megan Copenhaver is continuing a family legacy that spans the history of U.S. Army airborne training. Her parents graduated jump school, as did her grandfather and great-grandfather. It's a family tradition unmatched in Army history.
There's a little obligation here, but I definitely wanted to do it for myself because as our ROTC cadet, it's very distinguishing to have your airborne wings.
1st Battalion, 507th Parachute Infantry Regiment produces thousands of airborne qualified soldiers every year, rotating classes through a 3-week schedule. Week 1 is ground week, where students learn the basics of equipment and safety, including the correct way to land. Then is tower week, teaching students correct techniques, giving them a chance to master the fundamentals.
I'm just really excited to continue. We finally started and just going through the training. It's really rigorous, but if you just keep a good mindset, it's been awesome so far. So I'm looking forward to what comes next.
Copenhaver grew up listening to her mother and her West Point classmates share stories and enjoyed the pride of having a Ranger qualified father and grandfather. But in the final week of training, it was far from her mind as she rigged up for her first jump.
It's just changed to be more teamwork, I guess, instead of just intimidation. It's more of just being here so you can actually learn, so you can save your own life when you're landing with a parachute.
She graduates with a class of over 300 fellow students this week. Her parents and grandfather will be in attendance, celebrating the family legacy. And that same sense of tradition continues to inform Copenhaver as she considers her future military occupational specialty.
I would like to be military intelligence, just follow my mom's footsteps, honestly, because it sounds like it could be a great thing for transition to go into the civilian world as well, so.
Copenhaver looks forward to returning to Christopher Newport University for her junior year. Shan Ogletree, Fort Benning, Georgia.
So what were you doing this summer? I was jumping out of airplanes. Tell us. While faculty and curriculum are critical components of the university experience, special programs such as honors, study abroad, undergraduate research, and opportunities for service and service learning broaden and enhance the academic experience. We have very strong programs in all these areas. A total of 143 entering students, up from 122 last year, with a total of 143 entering students, an increase dramatically over last year. Our honors program is flourishing, and our commitment to more competitive scholarships will ensure the academic quality and performance of our honor students in the years ahead. I'm grateful to Dr. J. Paul for his leadership through the years, and to all of our faculty members who contribute to the success of that program and our honor students. About 25% of our graduates now study abroad, and this year we will have faculty and students in residence at the University of Glasgow in both the fall and spring terms. Thank you for your efforts to expand and enhance international learning opportunities. 2 summers ago, we held our inaugural Summer Scholars Program. 26 students joined our faculty to work collaboratively on faculty research, and we've steadily increased that number. 35 last summer, 40 this year. My thanks to all of those who participated in this emerging signature program. We expect our students to lead and serve, and the Center for Community Engagement continues its important work. Our 34 Bonner Scholars will contribute over 10,000 hours of meaningful service to our local community this year. The Center also oversees our Service Distinction Program that recognizes all students who perform 140 hours or more of service. In May, 176 students graduated with service distinction, and nearly 2,000 students are now enrolled in the program. In all, students tracked by the Center performed over 73,000 service hours. That's up from 57,000 hours in the past year. My thanks to Brad Brewer and Vanessa Newman for their good work. Finally, I want to say a few words about our SACS COC reaffirmation of accreditation. We are done. This has been a monumental, multi-year effort, which culminated in the site visit this past March. We received their report, we just submitted our response and our quality enhancement plan, focusing on undergraduate research. And we will receive reaffirmation of our accreditation this December. My thanks to our Vice Provost, Dr. Jeffrey Klein, who led this monumental effort, to Dr. Michaela Meyer, our Academic Director of Undergraduate Research. And I ask them to please stand so we can say thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, I want everyone who helped throughout that process, and it involves so many people. If you worked on any of the reports, took part in shaping the QEP, or were involved in any way in the reaffirmation effort, I want you to stand. I just want to get some sense of how this impacted our community. Come on, stand up. Everyone that was involved. Thank you. Let's say thank you. Come on. Thank goodness. And thank to each and every one of you. Finally, we have an extraordinary academic leadership. I want to express my profound gratitude to our distinguished provost, Dr. David Dowdy, and to all of our deans, Drs. George Ebbs, Nicole Guajardo, Lori Underwood, and Quentin Kidd. It's a marvelous team. Then I want to read something written by a student, which I believe gives a wonderful example of the power and consequence of the liberal arts and sciences. I recently read the blog post of one Jessica Johnson, who graduated from Christopher Newport in 2013 with a BS in neuroscience. This past spring, she graduated from EVMS with a doctorate in medicine, and she has just begun her residency at Stanford University in emergency medicine. Jessica's blog is entitled The Art of Networking, How to Approach It and Why You Should Care. Listen to this. My first year of college, a philosophy course was part of the required curriculum for graduation. Remember, this was a liberal arts school. And because I was a closed-minded 17-year-old know-it-all, I had already basically decided I had no interest in the topic and was totally unenthused about taking the class. My professor was Dr. Elizabeth Jelinek, and it wasn't long before I fell in love with her and the subject too. True, I probably wasn't going to become a philosopher or anything that would require me to match great philosophers with their respective theories. But this class, and Dr. J, as I call her, had an infinite amount to teach me and fundamentally changed the way I now see this world. It was the perfect counterbalance to my innately black and white, reductionistic, scientific way of thinking. It sharpened my ability to think critically, loosened my attachment to the concrete, undermined my assumptions, taught me to question anything and everything, and gave me one of my most treasured gifts, the ability to reflexively consider things from all points of view. Not only that, but Dr. J and I ended up working together in a philosophy of science course and co-authored a National Science Foundation grant proposal. She also helped me put together my medical school applications, has meticulously edited virtually every application or essay I ever submitted, is one of the first people I consult before making any major career decision, and casually ended up connecting me with an old friend of hers who happened to be, wait for this, the vice chair of emergency medicine, my chosen specialty at Harvard, a program I heavily considered for residency, as yet another mentor. What are the chances of that? I can't make this stuff up. It's just too good. That's what happens here at Christopher Newport. That only happens in small classes. That is the power of the liberal arts. That's why we do what we do. Our job is to rock their boats, open their minds, empower them to think critically, loosen their attachment to the concrete, undermine their assumptions, teach them to question anything and everything. Cause them to consider all points of view. Isn't that what the world needs? Let me talk a bit about student success. You all prepared to be with me for the balance of the morning? In welcoming our new freshman class to campus, I want to give you a sense of what the Registrar's Office does, what our colleagues do. In welcoming our new freshman class to campus, the Registrar's Office designed class schedules and placed our new freshmen in 80 learning communities to build a strong foundation for their college success. 80 learning communities. And to more effectively introduce them to the rich academic, cultural, and residential life of this university. In partnership with housing, the Registrar's Office accommodated roommate requests for over 97% of the freshman class, while preserving the students' placement in their learning community. Through the combination of our learning communities and customized class schedules, we're able to offer a seamless series of learning opportunities designed to help students transition to campus, engage as productive and successful members of the community. This process positions our students to become better acquainted with the campus, to make friends, to form natural study groups, and to move forward successfully in their academics. In support of our overall student success efforts, the Registrar's Office programmed over 100,000 degree evaluations, recorded nearly 106 individual grades, and graduated 1,254 students. So let me offer my thanks to our University Registrar, Juliana Wade, and to her amazing staff for all they have accomplished. Thank you. Career Center has also stayed busy, helping students develop a 4-year plan for their career and graduate school goals. This past year, the center worked directly with 987 of our first-year freshmen. That's more than 80% of our freshmen. The center engaged nearly 4,000 students overall. We only have 5,000 students on campus. The center has developed relationships with over 2,500 organizations to offer internships and post-graduation opportunities for our students. And the center hosted nearly 400 of those organizations on campus. So my thanks to Libby Wesley and her amazing team. On September 26 and 27, the Career Center will host a 2-day career and graduate school event. We expect more than 700 of our students will participate, and they'll be shaped up, professionally attired, putting their best foot forward. Now we know that Christopher Newport's rigorous academic programs, an emphasis on leadership, in honor, and civic engagement, prepare our students well for the workplace and for graduate school. But we have evidence of that. I'm pleased to report that the good work of Dr. Lisa Duncan-Rains underscores their success. Our research indicates that within 6 months of graduation, 88% of our students are employed full-time or enrolled full-time in graduate school. This is 10 percentage points higher than other universities in our Carnegie classification, and 15% higher than other universities in the Southeast. When we add those students who work part-time and those who attend graduate school part-time, the number totals 97%. The Luter School numbers are even better. 6 months after graduation, nearly 94% of our Luter School graduates indicate they are employed full-time or attending graduate school full-time. All these numbers send a powerful message about the success of our graduates and the extraordinary performance and job being done by our colleagues on this campus. Also want to applaud the celebration of our sophomores as they declare their major field of study at signing day, one of our signature student success initiatives. 93% of our second-year students participated in this event, and I thank everyone who makes that so successful and meaningful. I'm pleased to announce that Christopher Newport was named over the summer to the 2017-2018 Colleges of Distinction. This recognition communicates that Christopher Newport is nationally recognized by education professionals because of our highly engaged students, excellent teaching, vibrant community, and successful student outcomes. Finally, my thanks to Dr. Lisa Duncan-Rains, to the Student Success Coordinating Committee, and to Dr. Kevin Hughes, and to our faculty and staff for supporting and encouraging the success of our students across this campus in so many ways. Let me speak for a moment about service. Leadership, honor, and service are powerful distinctives of the CNU experience. Our President's Leadership Program plays a decisive role in making that happen every day by engaging over 1,000 of our students in a wide range of academic and co-curricular activities. Last year, PLP students contributed 41,000 hours of community service. Our PLP students are not alone in their commitment to helping others. We have over 200 clubs and organizations, and nearly 1 out of every 3 clubs on this campus are devoted to service and volunteerism. The same commitment is true of our fraternity and sorority members. Over 1,300 students are Greek, and last year they raised over $100,000 for philanthropic purposes and contributed over 15,000 hours for service to our community. Hundreds of students participated in alternative fall and spring break excursions. And our Honor Service Scholars and our student athletes engage the community in powerful and important ways. But we can do more. All captains should graduate with the understanding that we have an obligation to serve others. And all of us need to encourage their service through our words, our actions, and our example. Next, let me speak to housing and residence life. It is well known throughout this country that residence halls in Christopher Newport are like palaces. We are consistently ranked among the very best residence halls in America. It takes a great deal of effort and hard work to make our halls feel like home. But our students notice and they appreciate it. And I am very grateful to our residence life and housing staff. They work so hard, so diligently, and they do such an extraordinary job. Let's say a round of appreciation. We also have an amazing dining services team. Last year they served 1.1 million meals. And that doesn't include 15,000 milkshakes at Einstein's. Or 46,000 fries at Chick-fil-A. Or any of the exceptional catered events. So a special thanks to all of our friends in dining for a job well done. Let me say a word about University Police. You know, many of us sprint through each day. We work very hard to create a great university. But then we go home at night or on weekends. Or stay at home when the weather's really terrible. But there's one operation that's here every hour of every day. I want to personally thank all the officers, the dispatchers, and the security personnel in the University Police Department. Be mindful of what's happening around us. We are grateful to each of you for your dedication to our safety and our security. And I also want to extend a warm welcome to our new Chief, Dan Wolosinowski. Thank you all so very much. Athletics is an important element and dimension of the life of Christopher Newport. More than 600 student athletes contribute energy, enthusiasm, and intellect to the life of our university. They excel in the classroom and in athletic competition. At graduation, we honored Brooke Berg, a stand-up varsity tennis player who graduated first in her class and who won a Fulbright to study in the United Kingdom. Overall, our student athletes earned a cumulative 2.98 GPA. At CNU, our athletes are expected to go to class, be prepared, and graduate. And I thank all of you who helped along the way. We ask so much of our student athletes, and you support and encourage their success in the classroom, in our labs, as well in our playing venues. In athletics, we play at the highest level of excellence, winning over 70% of all games played, and sweeping the conference men's, women's, and overall championships. The hard work and success of our student athletes and coaches propelled us to a top 15 finish among more than 400 schools in the NCAA. And we stand with institutions like Williams, MIT, Johns Hopkins, Emory, and Chicago among the most successful schools in America. There were many memorable moments over the last year, but we'll always remember our women's basketball team's run to the Final Four and our men's tennis team becoming the first team in this century to defeat Mary Washington for the conference championship. We look forward to another remarkable year for CNU athletics as we welcome our 24th intercollegiate sport, women's golf. We've recruited a talented group of young women, and we expect from day one to compete with the very best programs in America. On Saturday morning, our football team, over 100 strong, moved freshmen into the residence halls. And then later in the day, we pummeled a nearby college in a preseason scrimmage. It's true. I think our young men and coaches are preparing for another exciting and successful football year. Football and all of our sports contribute immensely to the success of Christopher Newport. They led, for example, to the marching captains. This year, over 240 strong. Extraordinary marching captains. And football and all of our 24 intercollegiate sports teach important lessons to our student athletes that powerfully shape their lives. Next, let me talk about capital. A great university must instruct and inspire. And nothing does that more powerfully than magnificent art and architecture. That's why it's important that over the past 22 years, Christopher Newport has created a campus of civic proportions and beautiful design. Since this time last year, we completed 4 chapter houses of Greek Village. Not bad. And we completed the Greg Click Alumni House. Both of these projects have added immensely to the life and energy and spirit of our beautiful campus and created wonderful opportunities for us to celebrate our vibrant Greek life and to welcome our alumni to campus. Over the last year, we began construction of the library addition. The library continues to be an all-important gathering place for our students. Open 24 hours on most days, the library is filled with students from the crack of dawn to late at night. This is a picture of what the next phase of the library will look like as it extends toward Warwick Boulevard. This project will add 800 seats to accommodate a total of 1,200 students in all. Magnificent 2-story reading room, and will provide critically important space for our expanding collection, which is now approaching 1 million holdings. In addition to many individual and group study spaces, the addition will also feature a lecture hall and 2 classrooms, one of which will be a digital humanities classroom. Lastly, Einstein's has been renovated and refreshed with additional seating and, of course, Starbucks coffee and incredible milkshakes. The library will be completed by this time next year. Construction of the expansion of regattas has fallen behind schedule, but will be completed this fall, God willing, and the creek don't rise. This project will add 300 seats for dining in a spectacular 2-story pavilion, and will create a new entrance from the Great Lawn. The next capital project will be the Fine Arts Center in Banner. Last year, I reported to you that the new Fine Arts Center would face the Avenue of the Arts and stand next to the Ferguson Center. Let's move to the next one. So last year, when we talked about it, we were talking about having it located right here. However, I must tell you that location just didn't feel right. So I moved it. And this is where it's going to go. The band room will go here, which is the right place for the band room. But the art center is moved here, which is where the visitor parking lot is now. So we'll move the visitors before we start the construction. So when we first designed the Ferguson Center, INK idea was that there would be this spectacular colonnade that would extend across the face of the Ferguson Center, and it would come all the way out here. And his idea was that here there would be a parking deck. And I said, there's no way in the world that we're going to build a parking deck in the middle of our campus. And so we didn't build a parking deck, and as a consequence, we did not build that sweeping colonnade that Pei envisioned. And so, in effect, we got half a colonnade. I've told this story to many people, but in one of my early conversations with a representative of the press, I got a bit carried away when I was talking about the Pei colonnade. And I said, you know, when the astronauts are flying across space and they look down, they're going to see two man-made objects. They're going to see the Great Wall of China, and they're going to see the colonnade at Christopher Newport University. Well, the colonnade never really took effect, at least the full sweep of the colonnade. But now we will have the full sweep of the colonnade, because we're going to place the $50 million art center right here. It will be freestanding, but it will be connected by this spectacular colonnade, and it will face Ward Boulevard. It'll be on this ellipse, if you will, overlooking this beautiful green space. And the band room, which is so important to our music program, will be here as part of our music program. So it's been moved from here to here. And the next slide will show you what it looks like. What do you think? What do you think? So the Art Center then stands at the heart of our campus, and you have the visual and the performing arts standing side by side, linked by this spectacular colonnade. And what you have the arts spectacularly visible from Ward Boulevard. You have tens of thousands of people passing by. And you have the point-counterpoint of these two spectacular glass features of the new Art Center to the right and the glass features of the Diamondstein Concert Hall to the left. And now I'm quite confident that once this is completed, the astronauts will be able to see as they walk across. The next picture shows the entrance, and it shows the three glass domes that are envisioned that form the lobby. And they are reminiscent of the three sails of Christopher Newport. And for those of you that are sailors, they look a lot like billowing spinnaker sails. The lobby will, of course, be lighted day and night, and it will be this magnificent counterpoint to the Diamondstein Concert Hall. Now, Bill, go back, or somebody. So this is the more modern A construct here across the face. But be mindful, over here is the Neo-Georgian architecture of the campus. So we need to make a transition as we come around this corner. So the next slide shows you that transition. We come around, and this is the other side of the building, which reflects the traditional Neo-Georgian architecture of the main campus, instead of the more modern design architecture of the Ferguson Center and the colonnade. And the Fine Arts Center will support the important activities of the Fine Arts and History Department, many programs of instruction to citizens of all ages that will be provided by the university and our partner, the Peninsula Fine Arts Center. It will provide galleries and exhibition spaces for visiting and permanent collections. It's a $50 million project. We could begin construction next summer. We could be completed by the summer of 2020. So, last week I presented our 6-year plan to the senior leadership in Richmond. For the first time in 22 years, we did not request a new capital project in the next biennium. The creation of our campus is essentially complete. It's amazing what $1 billion will do. With that in mind, I want to recognize Hunter Bristow, our university architect, who's retiring at the end of this month after 18 years of service. Hunter, thank you for all that you've contributed to the transformation of this university. Where are you? I know you're out there. Hunter Bristow, stand up. Finally, and I mean finally, you've been most patient. Let me speak about advancement. 6 years ago, we began our first ever comprehensive fundraising campaign. This campaign was not about one building or project or scholarship. It was about the whole university. Every gift from every source for every purpose counted. On June 30th, we brought the campaign to a close. And on Sunday, September 17th, on the Great Lawn, we will gather to celebrate the campaign's triumphant success. Adelia Thompson has masterfully led our campaign for 6 years, and we've had an outstanding result. We have an amazing advancement team, and I want Adelia and her colleagues to stand so we can express our thanks. And to my dear friend Lucy Latchin and to Susan Martin, I want to say we wish you Godspeed and all the best as you retire this fall. Will you all please stand? On Sunday evening, September 17th, mark that date, September 17th, Sunday evening, we will host the Virginia Symphony on the beautiful Great Lawn, under the stars. Rosemary, may it be from your lips to God's ears. Under the stars. This year, to celebrate the end of our comprehensive campaign, our czarina of special events, Amy Dale, is adding amazing surprises. You don't want to miss that evening. Something spectacular will happen. Something you will never see again in your lifetime. I'm not kidding. You should come. Mark your calendars. Sunday, September 17th, 7:30 p.m., the Great Lawn, for a wonderful celebration and a night you will always remember. We will announce our final totals on that night, and everyone will walk away knowing how that campaign has transformed this university and positioned us to transform the world. But because you're the heart of Christopher Newport and make magic happen here every day, I want you to be first to know and hear some of our remarkable accomplishments. We set a goal of $42 million, really an aspirational number for a school our age and for our first campaign. And we hoped we would reach 18% annual alumni giving. We started at 8%, so 18% meant exponential growth in just 6 years. Our purpose was to use the campaign to greatly expand our reach and our reputation, reconnect with alumni, engage the parents of our students, and most importantly, begin to establish a solid foundation of financial support on which every great university must rest. Well, with your help, we far exceeded anything any of us could have imagined. Scholarships were our first priority, to reward merit and to help our many students who had financial need. We added 132 new scholarships and raised over $17 million to support new and existing scholarships. That includes CNU's 2 first ever full ride scholarships. I think you should break it in half. One of those recipients wrote me a letter of thanks, and then I got a letter from her mom that I just want to read. Dear President Trible, thank you seems insufficient for this blessing bestowed on us. After we received your letter, we cried tears of joy, tears of gratitude, tears of humility. Receiving a gift of this magnitude, so incredibly life-changing, warrants appreciation that is difficult to express in words. So although Grace and I will continue to say thank you, please know that Grace's intention is to thank you with actions for this opportunity and this amazing gift. She will continue to strive to make a difference. She chose CNU for many reasons, but mainly because she wants to lead a life of significance and wants to be surrounded by like-minded students wishing to do the same. Thank you for alleviating the financial obstacles that would have made that impossible. As her mother, I see daily what a remarkable person Grace is, but I'm guessing most moms feel that way about their children. So I want to thank CNU for this recognition of Grace's hard work, her academic success, her service to her community and her school, and her leadership. Thank you for naming her a Presidential Scholar. We understand it is an honor, and we're grateful for your faith and trust in her abilities. God bless you. Via Good, proud and grateful mom of a CNU captain. That'll get you up. The second priority was to establish endowed funding to empower the success of our remarkable faculty. When we started, we had no endowed professorships. Not one. We now have 4 endowed professorships, 2 that are active and 2 more that will be fully funded through estate gifts. Well over 30% of our campaign total was raised in support of programs of distinction. These are programs across our campus that are important to the success of our students, including academic programs, department and colleges, the President's Leadership and Honors programs, athletics, the Center for Community Engagement, important programs across this campus. Fourth, the Alumni House. Happily, we not only opened the doors of the Alumni House, we also secured a leadership gift that allowed us to proudly etch the name of a distinguished alumnus over the entrance. And we're now able to welcome hundreds of guests each week to the Greg Plick Alumni House at Christopher Newport University. Our fifth priority was annual giving and alumni support. CNU Day and Senior Gift Campaign are major contributors to our alumni giving. March 14, 2017 was our third CNU Day. And once again, we surpassed prior year totals and surprised us all with the energy and spirit generated around the world. Wearing blue and silver, waving CNU flags in many countries and all kinds of places, captains showed up in body and spirit in record numbers. This infographic tells the story. We raised a remarkable $688,593. We're trending on Twitter, For several hours, we were trending on Twitter. We exploited Facebook all day long. And we raised alumni giving participation by an incredible 2.3%, all in one day. Extraordinary result. The Senior Gift Campaign. When we began this comprehensive campaign, one of our quiet goals was to instill a sense of philanthropy among our students. We wanted them to learn that giving to support things we care most about in our lives is a powerful, meaningful, and joyful thing. Well, the unbelievable growth of the Senior Gift Campaign tells a powerful story. Our students embrace giving back, paying forward, and they're also just a little bit competitive also. They started at $42,000 in 2012. And this past spring, our seniors contributed more than $105,000 to the university. But what is special, I think, is this. What they chose to support is extraordinary. The list includes faculty excellence, the Lighthouse Fund, a portion of which was expressly set aside by them to assist faculty and staff in crisis, an endowed scholarship, the Alumni House, and now the establishment of a full-ride scholarship to CNU for a year. These are amazing young men and women that you're producing. Hearts and minds. They are the future. You know, when we started the campaign, we weren't quite sure where we were, where we stood with the alumni of earlier decades. But one of the wonderful lessons learned through this campaign is that most of our older alumni have been waiting for an invitation to be part of today's Christopher Newport. We found they are deeply grateful for what's happened to them while they were here and enormously proud of what their alma mater has become. 6 years ago, 8% of our alumni were making gifts each year. We set a goal of 18% by the end of the campaign. Well, we passed 18% last year. We set the goal of 20% for the final year of the campaign. Alumni giving at that level would put us at the very highest level of public schools around the country. Well, I won't tell you where we ended. You'll have to come on September 17th. But I'll tell you this, we've got a lot to celebrate, so come and join us. But the most extraordinary story is yours. Seeing you faculty and staff, day in and day out. You work countless hours and in heroic ways. You care for our students, you care for our campus, you care for this community. And then each year we ask you to make a financial contribution, and you do. This past year, 95% of every person on this campus, faculty and staff, made a gift to Christopher Newport University. There is no other school in America like this. There is no other campus family like you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You see, we're all about family. We're all about community. We're all in this together. We're all about each other. As evidenced by your sacrificial giving and by my last story. Mackenzie Masterson came to Christopher Newport in the fall of 2011. She graduated in May of 2015. She's entering her third year as part of Jane Salzberger's leadership staff at Lifelong Learning, and she is here today. Throughout Mackenzie's years on campus, her parents, Jeff and Luann, facilitated generous annual gifts through the Doherty Foundation. Mackenzie's grandfather served on the board of that foundation for many years, and then her dad followed in his place. Shortly after Mackenzie graduated, Jeff, her dad, contacted us regarding the possibility of the foundation doing something significant for Christopher Newport. You see, the Doherty Foundation invests in the work of the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. And Jeff imagined a relationship between that organization and Christopher Newport that Doherty might support, opening up new opportunities for our students to do more hands-on research out on the water involving our wonderful biology faculty. Jeff set out to create a new endowment at CNU, a fund that would ensure in perpetuity that Christopher Newport students could bring their creativity, intelligence, and values to bear on the challenges facing the Chesapeake Bay. In turn, avail themselves of the living laboratory that surrounds us, that marvelous waterway. Jeff's love for his daughter, his appreciation for her alma mater, and his delight at the possibilities he saw created his urgency to establish the fund. But so did his personal battle with cancer. And he was determined to personally shepherd this fund to completion. Jeff lost his valiant battle with cancer in January 7th, 2017. 2 days later, a signed agreement arrived at our advancement office, followed by a check for $100,000, creating the new Doherty Foundation endowment at Christopher Newport. But the story continues. A few weeks after Jeff's memorial service, we received a letter from the president of the foundation which said, "With the passing of Jeff Masterson, we lost a fellow trustee, husband, father, and an exceptional human being. Jeff requested that any donations be made to the endowment fund that he proposed that the foundation establish at Christopher Newport University. To honor his wish, the Doherty Foundation would like to make an additional donation in memory of Jeff to be added to the Doherty Foundation Biology Fund." The gift accompanying that letter doubled the endowment, and the fund will now generate $10,000 a year to get our captains out of the water now and forever. A father and a daughter's love, a university that instructs minds and stirs hearts, a father's vision and commitment to making the world a better place. Mackenzie, thank you for your dad. Thank you for your dad. This place is precious. People have invested in Christopher Newport because we're authentic. We are a beacon for good in a time when so much is broken. We are a light in the world that seems so dark. With our students, there is hope. That's why what we're doing is so important. That's why I cherish all of you. And that's why I cherish our time together. Thank you so very, very much.